Welcome back to Radio Shack. Now we're back with more Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, before we get into this recap, some of you may know, but for those of you who don't know, this 1 hour and a half special of Raphael, Mutant Apocalypse, was moved from Nickelodeon to Nicktoons, and so has the remainder of the rest of this season. I know, very frustrating, very sad, but that's for another conversation. And not only that, this episode, this special, was intended to be the finale of the series. Another thing, very upsetting, very confusing, but we still have the Halloween arc that we have to get through and the TMNT crossover. Yeah. Let's get into this recap. Now, Raphael, Mutant Apocalypse, I gotta say, this had multiple flavors of different things. Now, the main thing, it does have that Mad Max flavor of the film series. Definitely has that, but it also has a little bit of feeling of that Old Man Logan, a little bit of flavor of that Dark Knight Returns. Just a little bit, but mostly Mad Max. If you've seen any of the films, especially Mad Max Fury Road, which is heavily in here a little bit. But in this, we're dealing with the older and more war-weary Raphael. Now, we do find out that in this different timeline, or the future, we never really got any description on that, but if this is an Elseworld or in the future, it feels like it can be either or, but we find out there are no more humans, it is just mutants. It is an outright wasteland, and we find out that there was this mutagen bomb that went off that caused all of this, and Raph and Donnie were the only ones that survived, and due to the bomb, Donnie's body was destroyed and he had to download his consciousness into a robot that he designed, which is kind of like how it was in the comic books where he downloaded his consciousness to Metalhead when he died. But as they're traveling, they run into these honey badgers who is led by Verminator Rex, who is looking for this girl who has a map to this place called Oasis. And when we meet the girl, she is a meerkat named Mir. And we get a little rough start with her. You know, she tries to steal Raph and Donnie's vehicle, but later on they end up getting together and you find out that she has the map and it is actually tattooed on her forearm, and that's where she needs to head because she is the last of her clan. And not only that, no one can understand the map, not even Donnie, who sees that it is just gibberish, it's not of any known language that he's ever seen. And we find out that she is looking for someone named the Holy Chalupa, who is his prophet. And when Raph and Donnie hear this, it sounds like something that Mikey would say, so it could be that this prophet or whatever could be Michelangelo. Eventually, Verminator Rex has to team up with the Scaletail clan, who are these reptiles, and team up to take down Raph and the others just to get to Mira. And as they're traveling, they have to go through the impossible wasteland, and as they continue on, they actually run into this thing that can travel underneath sand, and it almost ends up eating Raph until this mysterious figure pops up, and we find out that it is actually Mikey. Michelangelo shows up and backs the beast off, and it turns out that the beast is actually Chompy. Chompy is grown up, and at this point, Raphael didn't really remember because he's actually lost some of his memory. He doesn't remember everything from the past besides his brothers. And he starts to remember who Chompy is and all that stuff. And we also find out that Mikey is kind of crazy. Well, a little crazier than Mikey is usually. But we see that he has been surviving in this pizzeria, surviving off of water and very, very old pizza. And not only that, we get the final episode of the Space Heroes Next Generations, and Raphael finally figures out that the cartoons that they've been watching has been connected and is kind of parallel to the lives that they've been living and adventures that they went on. and they eventually get attacked by the Verminators and the Skit. But they eventually get attacked by the Honey Badgers and the Scaletail clan, and they end up stealing Mira, and Raph has to go after them. And at that point, the pizzeria gets destroyed. We'll eventually get into this Mad Max in the Thunderdome situation where Raphael, who is in this Elseworld, is known as Red Stripe, has to fight the leaders of both clans. And after he defeats him, he becomes the leader of both clans, and he decides to go to Oasis. Eventually, Verminator Rex has to get away and go tell his master, Maximus Kong, that they have found the map and they found the girl who has it. As they're traveling along, they run into this tree where Mira has never seen a tree before. All she knows is sand and wasteland. But they have to continue on to get where they need to go, and they have to follow Mikey, because we did find out before that he was the one that created this map. And eventually, they're being chased by Maximus Kong and Verminator Rex. As they're getting chased down, I know there's a lot of people thinking like, where's April, where's Casey, where's Karai? The only reference we get is this hockey mask that's lifted up, and we see the skull of Casey Jones. As you can see, it has the black bandana around it, so we can only assume that it is Casey's skull. Like I said, TMNT has not been shy these past 2 seasons of taking gambles and just doing what they want, since they know the series is going to end. But it's crazy, and especially it makes sense since this came on at 9 o'clock at night. But Raph is able to use this as a self-destruct to try to take down Maximus Kong's monstrous of a vehicle. It's ridiculous how huge that thing is. But then we get this confrontation between Maximus Kong and Raphael, which we get this awesome fight as usual. It starts to become too much for Raphael, and the others try to jump in and help out, but they get thrown off. But Raph is able to use this wrench to like bash in his helmet, and then eventually knocks it off. And we find out it's none other than Leo. I mean, of course it's Leo. But we get this awesome fight scene, and Raph is trying to refresh his memory of who he is, but it doesn't work. But he eventually tells him he loves him. Ninja Turtles always trying to hit me with the feels. Leo throws Raph off the vehicle as it crashes into this wall, and the vehicle just like tumbles all upon him. The others show up, and Mikey and Donnie realize that it is Leo. With everything collapsed on him, he suddenly starts to remember exactly what happened. When the Mugen bomb went off, he was able to save everyone else, and it just like collapsed on him. He was inside the bomb, and it actually mutated him again into Kong, and it looks like the rage is what pushed him so far into doing everything that he did. And they eventually travel to Oasis, where they're together again as a family, and we end the episode. But this episode definitely could have been a movie. Like, if they would have treated it as a movie, like there's a couple plot holes in some of this, like where the Mugen bomb come from, what happened to April, Karai, and Casey exactly, and you know, why did Mikey have to create the map, and what exactly did the Mugen bomb do to Leo to actually infuse him with rage to do all that, and why did he, when he remembered everything, he just forgot? He doesn't feel guilty about anything. Other than that, I felt this was a great story. If Turtle fans wanted something different, this is definitely something that I can see people being fans of. What did you think of this episode? Comment below, let's get the conversation going. Also, let me know what you think about everything moving to Nicktoons for the remainder of the season. And how do you feel about this whole situation? We can probably make a video about it later, but as always, if you enjoyed my thoughts, make sure you like, subscribe. Next few episodes are coming up pretty soon. We'll be back with that. The last video will be in the link description down below. Until my next video, I will see you later.